5 years ago, Mandy was a teenage mother struggling to cope. Paul was alone, dreaming of a home and a job. Tina was taking a gamble so she and her baby could make a new start. And Genevieve wanted an education to get a better life. 5 years on, World in Action meets them again to discover how they've struggled against the odds.
I got back from school one day and just shouted for her as I usually did, expecting her to reply, and I went into her bedroom and all the stuff had gone from her cupboard and she just left basically.
And how old were you then?
I think I was about nearly 13.
Genevieve's mother had abandoned her children for a new husband in America. Genevieve and her brothers were left to fend for themselves.
We had to, just between us, do the shopping, the cooking, the cleaning, things that children of that age don't know anything about. And it was a really difficult situation, trying to manage that and go to school at the same time.
At a tender age, Genevieve was forced to take on adult responsibilities. She had to grow up very fast. She knew from then on that life would be tough.
I mean, I'm not expecting to have a comfortable life or anything like that. You know, I know you've got to struggle and everything. There's a lot of people who are worse off, but I should at least feel secure. Not have to feel that I don't know whether I'm going to get by the 1 week.
But Genevieve was utterly determined to make a better life for herself. Mandy, a Halifax girl who wants to enjoy her freedom. But even that has been a struggle.
And I want to prove to people out there that I've changed and that I'm growing up, and to stop bringing my past up and reminding me what I used to be like.
Mandy has a checkered history. She was pregnant at just 15 and had a daughter. But the demands of a tiny baby proved too much for someone who was little more than a child herself. Mandy's baby went to foster parents, but Mandy still didn't give up hope.
I want to spend one night with my baby, because they've got their babies at home, but where's mine? Mine's in care.
Mandy was adamant that she wanted to look after her daughter herself, to make sure that her baby had a good start in life.
I don't want to nowhere near care. I want her to have a right nice life, go to school and do exams and get a good job. Not to end up what I've done, going to court for fighting and getting done with police. I want a total different life to her.
But the realities of motherhood may prove just too much for Mandy.
Hurry up now. Have you been to the toilet? Yeah.
Tina is only 22, but she's already had a lifetime of experience.
Good night.
She's had to battle for everything she's got. Adopted as a child, Tina turned into a teenage runaway who ran from her parents and absconded from a series of children's homes.
I ran away, every opportunity I could, I'd run away. Not because of problems, it was just something to do. When I was growing up, I was confused. I didn't really feel that I respected myself, or even liked myself. No one actually sort of said, why are you running away, or why are you hurting yourself, or why are you hurting other people? Is it because you don't like yourself?
Then, at only 15, Tina got pregnant. She gave birth to a baby daughter, Katie.
I felt like she was mine, like my real family. The only thing I knew was my blood, do you know what I mean? I wanted her, but I went through a stage of not wanting her. I had the date set for the termination. The day I was supposed to have the termination, I ran away to London. So I ended up having her. I love her.
But for a lot of young mothers, which you were very young when you had Katie, it's a terrible burden to have a baby. How did you manage?
Got on with it. There were so many people telling me I couldn't do it and that I'd have trouble and I'd regret it, and when I get older I'd miss out. And so at that age it was like, well, I'm going to do it. I want to show you, you know.
I'd hope to be living in London, catering a nursery school, leaving a part-time job, and living happily ever after with my dad.
Tina took a big risk. She set off for London to realise her dreams.
I know she's wondering what's going on, she doesn't know. She knows I'm happy, so she's been alright. She hasn't been in trouble. Here we go.
Did Tina survive, alone in London with her baby? 6 years ago, World in Action began a unique experiment. Then, as now, 60,000 children were separated from their families and in care. At the age of 16 comes a second hardship. They have to learn to live as adults with little emotional or financial support. We followed these 4 care leavers for a year and witnessed their struggles to survive. This summer, we returned to see what has become of their lives. Genevieve was put into care after her mother left. As soon as she could, she moved into a flat on her own. She was just 16, but she stayed on at school, determined to get an education.
Did you ever go hungry?
Loads of times. Because I was at college studying at sixth form, and I was working at a job as well and not getting very much money to live on, and so really money was quite hard to come by, and so a lot of times just had one meal a day or whatever, and I just got used to a routine really of doing that. I didn't see myself at the time as going without, but now looking back and seeing what I've got now, I did go without quite a bit.
All by herself, Genevieve struggled on to take A-levels in dance, music and drama. She saw education as the passport to a new life. But the odds were stacked against her. 3 out of 4 care leavers get no academic qualifications at all. In a high-rise flat, another teenager alone, with high hopes. At 16, Paul was proud of his first place and optimistic about his destiny.
It's brilliant. It's a lot better than living with 12, 13 people in a hostel. A lot of them that you don't know. Whereas when you're here, you can do your own thing and you can have who you want up in your flat. You can go to bed what time you like and whatever. It's good. In a year's time, I think I'll still be in the flat. It'll be finished by then, hopefully. But a couple of years after, I think I'd like to be moving into my own house and starting to settle down a bit more. In 10 years' time, I'd like to be in my own house and as high up in sales and marketing as I possibly could get in 10 years.
Paul was put into care at the age of 8. To become a winner, he would have to confound people's expectations about his past and show the care system hadn't damaged him.
It made me toughen up because, you know, people can say things to your face. And it does hurt your feelings. You just have to build up a resistance against that. The general attitude is people in care are trouble. They're always in trouble with the police, they're always causing trouble, they're at the centre of the trouble, they make the trouble, and they're bad people basically. The only way to stop them saying that or thinking that is to actually prove them wrong.
What could Paul do to prove that he's not what people think he is? Mandy didn't want her daughter in care because she knew only too well what a life in care really meant. Mandy went into a children's home at the age of 8. She'd become unruly when her dreams of a happy childhood were wrecked by her parents' divorce.
I will admit I was bad when I was a kid. It's only because I didn't want my mum and dad to split up. I've always wanted my mum and dad to get back together, and I did go out my way to try and split like my mum and her husband up and my dad and his wife up. I really did try. I won't deny it, because I love my mum and I love my dad.
Going into care simply added to Mandy's problems.
Swinny?
Yeah, make us a rule.
We've got into trouble quite a bit, fighting all the time, and doing things with my mates what I shouldn't be doing, going down the fair, fighting and stuff. Just silly kid stuff, really. I just wanted to make people look up to me and that, but I did it in the wrong way.
Mandy had to overcome another obstacle to her happiness. Only 16, how could she manage to look after herself, let alone a baby? Mandy was not alone. Even today, 1 in 6 teenage girls leaving care are already pregnant or have babies of their own. Mandy couldn't cope with her daughter even for a trial period. However much she wanted to be a good mum, the reality was just too much.
I'm just not prepared to have her, and I should do. But I can't help the way I feel. If I've had my feeding for 7 months, and all of a sudden she's starting to come back and stay, it just changes you totally.
It was to be a testing time for mother and baby. Could Mandy keep her daughter? Tina set off to London with her baby to an uncertain future. She spent all the money she had in the world, £70, on the taxi fare.
I was an idiot. Put all my eggs in one basket. I didn't have much choice about leaving Trentham. I only had a few days to leave, and it was... I wanted to come back down here. I wanted to be with Katie's dad.
To save themselves from sleeping on the streets, Tina and Katie had to take refuge on a friend's floor. Like thousands of teenagers, Tina didn't have her own home.
Great relief. I'm here at last. Got their bags at the stairs.
1 in 3 of the young homeless people on our streets have been in care. It took months, but finally Tina and Katie's father moved into a flat of their own and eventually got married.
I mean, the landlord has got a key too, but she has to make an appointment, which is good, you know. It makes me feel sort of really adult-like. What I've always wanted in family.
Tina's marriage didn't last, but by then their family had grown. She had another daughter, Natalie. Tina had finally stopped running.
For you, having 2 little girls has been...
My anchor. It stops me, makes me think more. There's no choice anymore. Well, not that I'd want to, you know, get up and move on, but it helps having a reason to stay. It's not easy anymore just to like pick up a couple of carrier bags and trundle off.
But could Tina, the teenage runaway, settle down and achieve something for herself and her children?
You show me what it does.
After months of struggling with conflicting emotions, Mandy gave up trying to be a mum. She admitted that she couldn't reconcile being a teenager and having a baby. The child was placed with foster parents until she's 16.
She's happy with that family, and I don't want her to grow up the way I did. Unstable, mixed up, confused, don't know where I was coming or going. So I've left her be. I wish I could have coped with her, but I knew if I'd have got her back with me, that she wouldn't have been... I couldn't have given her what I wanted to give her, you know, a stable background, a home, security and all. I couldn't have given her that because I wasn't ready myself. I was still a kid and I'd just come out of care.
Genevieve succeeded. She passed her A-levels, and her hard-won qualifications gave her a glimpse of a new horizon. She took up a university place in Devon.
Going to university helped me to realise who I really was.
University is where Genevieve met Robin, her boyfriend for the past 3 years.
I really wanted to just have some fun and let go and be a child again, because that's something that I missed out on while I was looking after myself in care.
But even at university, her past came back to haunt her every holiday.
It did make things difficult not having a proper family while I was at university. Everyone would go home during Christmas, Easter, summer, and I didn't have a home to go to, basically. And so I had to go and stay with friends on their floor for a few days, here, a few days there. Kept thinking, am I overstaying my welcome? Which is a feeling that's haunted me from like being in care. 3,
The echoes from her past are getting fainter, but now and again the memories return.
I may have been watching a sad film on TV or something, and that'll have really upset me. And then all of a sudden, all these feelings from being in care, all these emotions that are really deep down there somewhere, they just all rush out. And then I find I'm not crying about the film anymore, I'm crying about when I was in care.
When I was 16, I expected to be in business, making a lot of money and living happily ever after, but that just does not happen because problems arise all along the line. I mean, I lost the business went under.
Running a market stall was the nearest Paul got to his dream of a career in sales and marketing. A lot of the time he was unemployed. 1 in 2 of young care leavers are unemployed. And however hard Paul tried, he ended up proving people right. He got into trouble.
When I went to prison for the first time, that was because of losing my temper and committing a violent offence, which comes down to my days from when I was under social services, because the anger just builds up over several years and then you end up exploding.
Paul has been in and out of prison over the last 5 years, mostly for assault. It's a sad fact that far too many care leavers end up as part of the prison population. Over 1 in 3 young offenders and 1 in 4 adult male prisoners were once in care.
I'd say the way the care system prepares you for prison is it teaches you to stand up for yourself, because in prison, if you don't fight for what's yours when you first go in, then you will have everything taken away from you. People will take it away from you. My big fear is if I lost my temper, would actually be killing somebody, because it has come, I would say, fairly close to that in the past.
Anger is Paul's worst legacy from his time in care. It's put him in prison. Will it have damaged his ability to make relationships? Now that she has finally settled in one place with her children, Tina has felt able to get back in touch with her adoptive family.
Squeaking.
What is your relationship with your adopted family now?
It's so easy to blame other people, where instead really what you should be doing is looking at yourself and trying to work out stuff for yourself. And I blame them a lot when I was younger, but now I can see what they went through. But you have to be older to understand.
Now the children are growing up, Tina can finally begin to explore new avenues for herself.
Good girl. Punch. Which one? Okay, not bad.
It's like putting all the excess energy into something and achieving something with it. My first tournament, I got a silver trophy for team fighting, women's fighting, and just recently I've went to a tournament and I took a gold trophy, so really chuffed.
At last, Tina can sit back and take credit for what she's achieved and acknowledge her debt to her children.
When I had Katie, everybody told me how beautiful she was and how I'd made her and everything, and how could I make her, because, you know, I'm such a pain in the neck. But I mean, like, Katie stopped me and made me grow up. You have to start liking yourself somewhere along the line. And that's what I want to teach my kids from when they're little, to respect themselves, to like themselves.
3 years after giving up her daughter into care, Mandy had a second child. Looking after another baby turned out to be just as much of a strain.
And why did you have a second child?
Why did I have my second one? That just happened and all. But that was hard, living in an house on my own with a kid again. I know I was 20 at the time, but I still wasn't ready. But I had her till she was 1.5. So she's in temporary foster care at the moment. And just until I get back on my feet and find somewhere decent to live. I've had to grow up pretty quick. I didn't want to because I've missed out on a lot of teens, doing what a lot of teenagers do. So that's why I'm living my teenage life now. I love going to the club in Manchester, it's brilliant. I know it don't last long, but there'll be a couple of hours I go there, I just forget everything about what I've done. They're all brand new mates, you know, they don't know anything about my past. Well, they do, because I've, spoke about it, but they've accepted me now for who I am.
At 22, Mandy has recognised that education can open doors. She wants a job teaching sport.
I want to make something of myself. I want to, have qualifications.
Hello, Amanda.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yes. You come to Imo for the course?
I have, yeah.
Yes. What we're going to do today is...
I love sports. All I've ever wanted to do is, do sports. I never had an education because I was, getting thrown back and forward in school. I couldn't settle in the school, kept getting thrown out. I didn't really sit any exams. That's why I wanted to go back to college, sit some exams. I just wanted to make something of myself so people can look at me and say, well, Mandy's changed. She's not the little robot people used to know her as.
I've enrolled.
Just wanted to be like a normal kid. That's one of my regrets, yeah. Not having my mum and dad together. Not growing up with my sisters. That's one of my regrets, yeah. All I want out of a relationship is somebody to love me and I can love them. I wouldn't expect much. Just somebody to care and love me like I'd care and love them. And not to wander off with people behind my back and stuff. Just somebody to be honest. Not lie to me. To be honest, straight down the line. Like I would be with them.
Paul's relationships have never really worked out for him. 2 years ago, his 16-year-old girlfriend gave birth to twins, but he'd already parted with their mother before the babies were born.
The relationship with my children is I don't really see my children.
Paul tried again and married another woman. Within a year, he was seeking a divorce.
People in care were scared to make a commitment to somebody. Even if they do make that commitment, it's always in the back of the mind that it's going to split up one day, and some of them actually wreck it for themselves without realising it.
Genevieve gained an honours degree. Her hard work paid off. She's made it.
I just felt really, really happy that the 3 years of university had come to some good, and it was kind of a marking of a new era to kind of move on.
And with her success came a happiness that she treasures. Her brothers and grandmother came to the graduation ceremony. Genevieve's achievement has been an inspiration to one of her brothers, who'd also been put in care after their mother had left. Next month, he too starts a degree course at university.
This is quite a good example of children leaving care and what they can achieve. A lot of social workers have very low expectations of children leaving care. They see it as being good if they don't get in prison, good if they don't get pregnant, but they don't really have any other expectations of them, for instance, to go to sixth form, or to go to university, or to get that really, really good job that they've always wanted.
6 years since we first met them. 6 years they've had to make their way in life.
At the moment, everything's stable. You know, I've got my house, my home, my kids. So as long as that's not taken away from me, why would I want anything else?
I'd say I have to be a survivor, really, to be where I am today.
I'm getting there. I don't know how I'm doing it, but I am.
It's made me a lot tougher than I was because I've had to fight for everything I've had and everything I've got.
It's always going to be there with you, you'll never forget it. But the best thing is to do is just to look forward now, don't keep looking back.